Welcome back to Project Zomboid. It's day 7, and the helicopter event is pending. We're going to take a moment to skip over the monotony of the morning routines. You've all seen it. Make sure you get life and leading, reading books, don't waste any time, etc. By this point, you should know that I love the foraging system. Park rangers have a 50% bonus to find anything in the wild plants category, which is larger than you might think. We're already level 8, so being able to find food that is considered non-perishable is going to be very likely. Not to mention, since I already know the helicopter event is coming soon, I wanted to make sure that I stocked up in my bag with food that I can carry for a long period of time, just in case I got caught out. Quick shout out to violets. Although these items are low in nutritional value, they do not spoil. And on top of that, they are considered seasoning or spice when you add them to a dish. Sunflower seeds are also abundant within game under the wild plants category, so I enjoy grabbing those. And of course, after that, we're going to move on with our day. So let's talk about the plan. We have a gas can with gas in our bag currently. If you recall, at the school, there is a car that is sitting there and we have the key ready to go. So all we need to do is put gas in the car. That also means we need to get there and hopefully not have the helicopter event drop on us during that time period. So we're gonna have to fight these zombies, walk up the road, not burn ourselves out, and of course survive just to get to the car. Not lost on me that I just bit directly into a lemon, and it's not the first time you see me to do it. Lemons, limes, violets, and many other seasonings in the cooking category, when you forage them, will have higher nutritional values on their own. Adding them to a dish will usually just add happiness rather than the actual base food or hunger that they would be when you eat them directly. So that's why I did that. Taking stock of our weapon situation, we have a hand axe, a stone axe, a kitchen knife, and the spears that I just crafted. It's not as many weapons as you might think to be able to handle large groups of zombies that may come on us later down the line. However, if we pick and choose our battles and of course forge along the way, that one kitchen knife can make up to 10 spears. It'll take a long time before spears are reliable weapons, even after getting a level associated with it. The reason why spears are great is because the instant kill value, and you've seen that earlier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to survive large groups due to low durability. I don't really remember if I mentioned this before. It's easy enough just to walk away from zombies and pull out weapons from your bag before you continue to fight. All right, let's talk about this situation. I am intending to get to the car, but it's important to fight through zombies along the way for two reasons. One, any zombies that are trailing you later, you're gonna have to run down with the car, and I'd like to keep the car in good condition. Two, because again, you have a group of zombies trailing you, you never know what's really gonna happen along the way. So, even though we do have a helicopter event pending, you don't know what's happening today. It could happen for you at any day, past 7 days. So, be prepared for anything is the point. Alright. So, zombies dead, and now we're exhausted. It's something that you have to deal with. I'm an obese character, if you recall my trait selection, so we can't fight for very long. Finding a seat somewhere nearby that we can rest at is going to be very helpful in scenarios like this. Be able to manage your stamina. Don't mind the thinking emoji. During my recording, for whatever reason, my Steam account kept popping up various different alerts from my devices to other people messaging me. So I decided to, instead of trying to blur it, because I know there are techniques to where you can figure out information from that, I decided to overlay it completely with an emoji. So sorry about that. All right, gassed up, car acquired. Let's go. Alright, so we should talk about how you deal with a helicopter event. There are 3 methods to handling a helicopter event. 1, you could escape the area and literally go somewhere that you have not been before, wait for the helicopter event to come, and the zombies will be drawn to that area and not attracted to your base. You can 2, turtle, and sit and defend your base. Zombies will swarm you for the most part, but it's based on what you have done leading up to that event. You could have cleared out zombie after zombie after zombie. The helicopter event does not spawn new zombies, despite what anybody else actually tells you. So it is possible to make a helicopter event way less impactful if you've done a lot of work. Or 3, you can wait for the helicopter event to come, land on top of your base, and wait it out. In that scenario, you have to make sure no zombies will compromise the base itself. That said, I will be 100% honest and say that I had no intention of dealing with the helicopter event this day. I honestly thought I had more time, not within the day itself, but generically speaking, because I've never had a helicopter event happen on day 7. So of course I decided to start packing things into the vehicle because I figured 1, I would drive away from Rosewood, find a nice little spot that I could defend myself well at and or escape if needed. I did not want to compromise this building. Small thing I wanted to point out here, messing with the car, I realized that I had maneuvered the car in such a way to where 1, I couldn't get into it from inside the house, and then 2, I had to get on the passenger side to get into the driver's seat. It got weird, so I immediately decided that would not be a quick method to escape if it came down to it, so I moved the car outside. Next to that, putting the guns into the front seat means that I have the opportunity to grab them while driving and shoot as well while in the vehicle. I will admit right now that does not happen during this stream. So, which one do you say? Boot or trunk? Whichever one works for you. The vehicle is a mobile base, realistically speaking. You have storage, you have mobility, you can sleep in the car, you can fight from the car. Don't recommend that necessarily. But you should always take the things that you feel are essential. The propane torch will enable us to do metalworking in the future. All right, so now officially we have carpentry level 6, cooking level 6, foraging level 8. In your first week, you should be establishing whatever your survival tactics are going to be, and of course, I leaned into the park ranger in this case. So, food should be found by foraging for me. Cooking will increase my calorie intake, and of course, carpentry will allow me to build my base, or at the very least, set up my rain collectors once I hit carpentry level 7, and we're not far from that. And this is when it hit me. The helicopter was here. I was in the middle of my base. It's already overhead, and I have nowhere I could potentially go. Funny enough, will you like and subscribe for me? At this moment, we have to decide which of the 3 techniques we're going to use. Now, because the helicopter is already overhead, the first thing you need to remember is, 1, the helicopter will only stay for up to 4 hours after it spawns, assuming it hasn't seen you. So staying in place makes a lot of sense. Get away from windows or translucent doors, because it is possible for the helicopter to see you through a window, similar to how a zombie would see you. The next tip is to listen very closely. 1, every one of your windows and doors could become attacked by a zombie. You're going to hear the beating of the window or door at that moment, and that means you need to either fight or get out of dodge. 2, you also need to recognize that other noises inside your base will attract zombies if they don't already know where you are. In our case, they don't know where we are, but our TV is on. And there it is. We have a zombie beating on our window.
Nope.
It is 7 o'clock at night. There are zombies everywhere. Our base is compromised. It's time to go. In fairness, there are not zombies inside of our actual house, which is good. The zombies that were beating on the window probably came off it when I first came out and started running about. So that is a positive note. It is very possible that we can come back and reclaim our base. The problem that I had was I just not equipped to have that type of fight because we're obese, 1. 2, we're already tired for sure from having the entire day go by. So leaving the area made a lot of sense. The next thing I thought about during this time was to make it to the gas station and fill up the car, which will enable me to choose where I'm going to go next. Alright, strange note to make. In Project Zomboid, all of your gas tanks are on the left side of the vehicle. I, in real life, drive European vehicles, so I'm used to having my gas tank be on the right side of the vehicle. It's very weird for me. I don't know if it's weird for you, but I constantly have to remind myself of that. Regardless of the fact, once you get to a gas station, press the V key to bring up the radio menu so that way you can fill the tank. Every gas station is located in a space where spawns will bring zombies to you, so it's always going to be a fight trying to fill up at a gas station. It is possible to create security around it, but 9 times out of 10 they're very close to a highway, so they'll attract attention from sound, fighting, guns, etc. So if you can do it swiftly, quickly, stealthily, awesome. If not, you gotta deal with a horde. Last tip, you can always press the Q key to attract the zombies intentionally. Pulling them away from my car makes it to where I can actually jump into the vehicle and make a speedy escape. you look at the top right hand side of the screen, you're going to notice that we finally got the tired mood lit. It is 8:20, so not exhausted from fighting, simply tired from being awake in the day. And I was prepared for that, which is why I didn't want to have to fight the horde this whole time. Finding solutions to problems is one of the major skills you got to come up with in Project Zomboid. One, we did not fill the tank like I wanted. We got some gas, but nowhere near enough to get me anywhere that I really want to be. Problem number two, where do I go? My base has been compromised and there are definitely zombies all over the place. Driving around is going to attract the attention of other zombies as well. And yes, I noticed that some of the streets are more clear than others, so solution comes to mind. I've had two remote locations that I've hung out at. One, the Rosewood fire station, which, assuming there are no zombies sitting down here, I could base up at. Or two, right above the bookstore. I'm sure you can imagine looking at the screen now, we're not hanging out at the Rosewood fire station. There are far too many zombies that I would have to contend with, not to mention the car is going to attract more zombies than you can see currently. So, let's turn around. All right, so the trick in itself, like I mentioned before, some of these roads are more clear than others. Two, I need to abandon the car, really just to escape the sound that it makes. And then three, how zombies work is they only remember where you are for about 6 to 8 seconds. So with that in mind, the zombies that we passed all the way down the Rosewood fire station aren't going to make it to where we are right now. The zombies that you see pursuing us currently will lose us when we jump this fence. I grabbed a gas can to prepare myself to be able to go back to the gas station later and get more gas. The car, still functional, is going to be something we can come back to, clear whatever zombies are hanging out there at whatever day, and then of course fill the car. It does not have to be tomorrow or even the day after that. Zombies will move about and shuffle along. It will not be a massive horde later. So after all that, 2 zombies stand in our way, or at least 2 that we can see. Alright, before you sit there and start throwing things at the screen, let me explain. 1. I've driven up and down Main Street, so breaking down this door makes way more sense than trying to walk around and hope there's not a massive group of zombies sitting there. The noise that I make from this door will attract zombies if they're in the noise radius. True. However, I probably can break down this door faster due to the fact that I have 2 axes with me than it would be to fight a massive horde. Alright, so we've been here before. This is actually the exact same location that I had led a group of zombies into, walked upstairs, hung out for a little bit, and then came back down right out the front door. So, yay. If there are a few stragglers, not a big deal. We do hear a little bit of beating upstairs, and this is an apartment complex. So, if they're not in front of me, I'm not dealing with them. As usual, always check your corners, check bathrooms as well, just in case. And so, this is home. I realize that beating is happening and whatnot, but we're not super concerned about it because the zombies are just trying to get out. They're not trying to come and get us. Also recall I mentioned before that since we are on the 2nd floor, We do know that it's very likely that any zombie passing that occurred that 6 to 8 seconds before they figured out what door I was actually in is over. So we can dump our food, we can take a breath. Now, that said, that doesn't necessarily mean you should not assume the worst. So let's get ourselves in a situation where we know we'll have some safety. This bathroom looks good. This gives us 2 doors to defend us. First, the front door. Second, the bathroom door. And again, that's assuming they choose to check it. So we can grab this couch and take it in there. And from here, we go to sleep and see if we wake up alive the next day. Make sure you turn off the alarm just in case that the zombies do break into your room. And with that, we survived our first 7 days in Project Zomboid, also conquering the helicopter event. We got 120 kills, mostly with spears. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.